So I've plugged this Nistune ECU in, and now I'm going to plug the battery in, and then I'll see if this thing starts. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Lockdown Performance. This time we're going to be going into the into a little bit of depth, not a great deal, but a little bit in regards to the Nistune ECU motherboard, piggyback, or whatever you want to call it. In the last video I showed you guys that I got it back from South Australia, so I've plugged it into the car, and here's a video clip anyway, and I'll get back to you after that. Battery's plugged in. This airflow meter is actually going to go in there, but this is just set up for means of testing. I've already started it with the other ECU and it runs fine, so we'll just see what happens. Hopefully this Nistune ECU has got the correct base map in it. As you can see, I'll chuck the key in there. Let's hope. Fuel. Alright. So yeah, as you can see, it's running nice. Started first go, and I believe that the airflow meter that's actually running through the intercooler plumbing is working quite well. Obviously it's not going to be great for high boost, but I'm not going to be doing that right now. What I'll do pretty soon, guys, is I'll take you through a little bit of a demo of the Nistune software that I've got, show you a couple of things that you can access with it. It's pretty good. I'm surprised. You know, I've had a few different opinions from people saying, you know, oh, just go Haltech, go this, do that. You know, if you've got lots of money to spend, that's fair enough, and might be not as complicated. But you know, this is all new to me, the tuning side of it anyway, and looking through it, it's not that complicated. The main thing is, I guess, you need to keep your eye on things like your timing, your fuel, and your knock. You know, you don't want detonation, but yeah, I reckon it's pretty good. I got this as well, which is a console cable. Plugs in under the dash, and then this goes into my laptop. I've installed the software on my laptop already. However, that laptop is only going to be for tuning the ECU in that vehicle, and I'm strictly going to use that only for stuff that I know how to do, if you know what I mean. Like, on my desktop computer, which I've got in this room here, I've set up Nistune as well, and that's where I'm just going to be doing a little bit of mucking around and just having a look at the different maps and just getting familiar with it. So anyway, guys, here's a bit of a look at how it is from a desktop point of view. So yeah, guys, Obviously, I've got Nistune here on my desktop, which I've installed already. Just click on that. Click on yes, I understand and agree to the above conditions. So it gives you a little bit of setup assistance over on the right-hand side of the screen. Vehicle list. I've already selected a vehicle from the list, and then a base tune is or has already been loaded into my ECU, so I don't need to worry about that, but I'm just going through it to familiarize myself with it anyway. So if I wanted to load a base tune, what I'd do is I'd click on here and I'd just go into Documents, Nistune, ROM pack, and then my Vh45 files are under type 34, I believe. For the sake of this demonstration, I've just chosen Vh45 67U11.bin, which is pretty much a 93 model, which is the same as mine. So as you can see, I've got this on the left-hand corner here, Vh45, Vh45 DE, da-di-da-di-da, in as the main. I can also compare it, but I'm not going to do that now. This is just on my desktop, and this is purely so that I can familiarize myself with the software. Now, I'll go through this as quick as I can. I know that the most important ones are sort of up here. So you've got your fuel map, which is obviously green, blue, purple, and then red for the sort of higher load end of it. NOC fuel map. I'll just put that over there. Fuel throttle enrich. Just before I go any further, you can actually, if you go into the I'll go back to the fuel map. Let's just say you wanted to edit. You can't edit it while it's selected on raw values. You need to go filtered values, and then you can just, let's just say, go 5, and then makes a little sound like that to say that you've changed it. You go back there and you can see that value has changed from 128 to 133. That's just an example anyway. So once you hear that sound, that means you've changed the actual tune. So then when you go to burn it, which is something else I'll explain to you, that will actually change on the ECU. So anyway, timing, which is something that I'm going to have to change. Pretty much what I want to do is pull timing out on the higher end of it, of the tune or of the map. Then I've got this NOC timing map as well, which what I can do is I can then transfer the information from the timing map onto that NOC timing map, so that it's sort of like a fail-safe, if you want to call it that. Fuel load scale, fuel RPM scale, ignition load scale. I'll cross a few of those off now so that I don't confuse you guys too much. Ignition RPM. Let's see if I can move. Yeah, I can move all that around. RPM scale. Then you've got your limit tables. If you go a bit further down, these are just maps for the Vh45. So min load, max load, fuel cut, fuel recover, alpha increase fuel, crank enrich, after start enrich, temperature enrich warm. Cross that off again. Then you've got all the other settings here. Your dwell time, your dwell duty, your crank advance, your idle decel gear timing. I think the idle decel is something to do with VVT, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but because this is all new to me. Your knock retard. I was talking to someone who, there it comes up on that side of the screen. I was talking to someone in regards to Nistune, and they said, oh, I've changed to like a different ECU because the knock control was limited. But I mean, that's a funny little topic when it comes to knock, because if your engine's a bit older, it can actually confuse knock with mechanical issues, and then it'll pull timing anyway. So, you know, I reckon this software is awesome, to tell you the truth. So it's all fairly new to me, sort of. I do know a little bit about tuning, but this software I've never used. This is the actual registered software, not the trial version. Your math translation grid, temperature conversion. Okay, we'll cross that off. And then we've got load multiply, K constant. That's to do with your injectors. I'm not changing my injectors initially because I'm just going to be running super low boost. But what I may be doing, well, what I will be doing is changing the fuel map so that it doesn't lean out, and obviously pulling some timing out. You got your rev limit 1, rev limit 2, speed limit 1, speed limit's 180, hence being a JDM car. Rev limit 1, you can set so that it sort of backs off, and I think 2 is the cut. So that's a fail safe for that as well. O2 feedback, O2 voltage rich. So that's these things here, as you can see them coming up on the screen. And then you've got your VTC stuff down the bottom there. I'll just show you what you can select. So let's just say we'll go from left to right on the menu side of things. You've got all your cars here that you can select, you know, like there's heaps of different cars. You got Laurels, Skylines, bloody Cedrics, all sorts of Nissans pretty much. So you can select them versus their ECU number. Then you obviously, to open your main ECU image, I showed you that before. Over here, you've got your console channels, parameters lists, keyboard window, ECU status. I don't have it plugged in, so then you've got you can resize your injectors, change your MAF, AFR grapher. That's pretty cool. If you've got your AFR gauge hooked up, which there is a couple of recommended ones that only work with Nistune, which I'm going to have to set up anyway. That's a really, really good thing because you can do like a street tune and then have it all logged or whatever. Active tests is another good function. You can test your fuel pump, your IACV solenoid, all that sort of stuff, you know, coolant fan, low speed, high speed. I'm not sure about, I don't think Q45s have electric coolant fans. So I dare say that option may be for another vehicle, or it could be something to do with that little thermo fan that runs on the aircon. So yeah, you can adjust your windows and all that sort of stuff. Here you've got your console view, which is O2 injectors, airflow meter. Don't know what those two stand for, but I'll familiarize myself with that. Let me see. No, AIT, BSE. Okay, so temperature, battery, TP, ATPS, TPS, timing, AAC, FT temperature. You've got your DTCs, which is like your messages from the ECU. And then over here, you know, it's all pretty self-explanatory. You can put gauges on here as well. This one here, not sure what that is. That's your log player. That's cool. That shows all your, knocks and bangs and leaning out and rich and whatever you want, you can, it's an input tracer. So you can trace AFR, and all sorts of different things. Yeah, obviously ECU is not hooked up, so copy. Then you've got compare. You can compare two maps. Connect to EMU1, connect to EMU2. That's your AFR. That's your AFR wideband. It's not configured, obviously. I haven't got it hooked up. And then download maps from ECU, upload maps to ECU, or burn changes permanently to EEPROM. Console, which is not hooked up, and then tuner mode and stream mode. So with tuner mode, obviously, the feedback will be slower. With stream mode, you'll be able to get a lot more information. And finally, guys, for this part of it anyway, initial setup. Go through it really quickly. Vehicle list, which we've done. Base tune, we've done. Connect to ECU, we haven't done. MAF calibration, I'm using the same MAF, so I don't need to. Load scales, I'm going to eventually adjust all that as well. This is just giving you a little bit of an initial setup to help you out if you're new to tuning. Injector size, I'm going to leave that the same. So what I'll do is enter current factory. I don't need to do that because I'm using the factory injectors. MAF load, max limit, default, cranking tables, default. That'll be pretty much for me because I'm only using the standard injectors, fuel pump, and all that sort of stuff for now. RPM limits, I'll have to change that. Speed limit, I'm not going to worry about that too much. Increase fuel to maximum values. Avoid accessing last column of fuel map on high throttle. Yes. Set up MAF load. I'm not sure. Oh, yeah, I'll have to do that for boost. Injector latency, don't have to do that. Fuel map, I'll have to do that. On the dyno, hold it 1/4 load to enter closed loop area on the fuel map. No dyno, street tune. Yeah, it is what it is. Consult view, adjust load multiplier. Enable and disable O2 feedback cells with 0 key. And then obviously set up load scaling on full boost. So, until full boost load cursor reaches second last column of fuel map. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. If you also want to learn a little bit, and you don't have the Nistune software or anything like that, you just want to familiarize yourself with it before you commit. You can just go to, I've got the shortcut to the Nistune here. You can just go there and then you can go to your support, general documentation. You've got 85 pages here of all different things that you can do as far as, AFR settings and everything. I think that's pretty interesting. We'll cross that off. And then, yeah, you've got your ECU tuning basics, all the stuff here. If you need to get any extra information, I reckon it's pretty good. I reckon it's awesome, to tell you the truth, guys. And then, yeah, if you go to Nistune, real-time ECU tuning, you can do a lot of research. They're really good to deal with. Like I said, it was about a week turnaround for my ECU with the motherboard, and this is from South Australia. And I've got my console cable and all that sort of stuff ready to go. Plugged it in, started first go. You know what I mean? I mean, you could spend $3,000 on an ECU and it won't start first go. I guarantee you. Sometimes I've seen people muck around to try to get their cars started on the base map for like days, weeks, even months, you know. So, man, it's all good, guys. Yeah, so that's it. Anyway, guys, thanks heaps for watching. Only a short video this time around, just a little bit of something to show you guys what I'm trying to familiarise myself with. In the next episode, I plan on plugging my laptop in to the console cable and then going from there. The reason why I haven't done that at this stage is because I haven't completely finished the wiring from the battery to the boot. I've got the battery mounted in the boot already. I've got some of the cable through. I just need to connect it up, and the reason being that I want it all done right is because I just don't want no issues with current or voltage or anything like that. I want it all to be hooked up properly, and then I'll hook up my console cable, go from there. First plan, I want to just see what it reads, and then see if there's any errors on the ECU, and then go from there. And hopefully, if I can familiarise myself to the point of actually changing some tables, some maps, which I want to do, then we should be able to hear some more boost response. So that'll be really good. But anyway, guys, have a good one. Thanks for your support. Thanks for your likes and comments and all that sort of stuff. I noticed, yeah, I mean, lately I've been getting a few more views. Not a great deal, but anything's good, guys. It's a slow process with YouTube, the algorithm and all that sort of stuff. You know, sometimes you can make a really good video and it'll go nowhere, and sometimes if you've got that algorithm going and you're popular already, it'll just go places. It doesn't necessarily have to be that great. So anyway, guys, see ya. Have a good day, night, evening, afternoon, whatever. Catch you on the next episode.